Hi guys, welcome back to YouTube channel Chemistry Live UGPG. Today we are going to talk about carbonyl compounds lecture 1. So this will be highly beneficial for BSc chemistry students under CBCS syllabus. So I have a simple message for you guys. Please think for innovation, be creative, learn everywhere, anytime and help to learn others. So next question arises, why do we study carbonyl compounds? So let's take simple example. First compound is formaldehyde. So this is HCOH. So our formalin contains 40% formaldehyde in water. So this is used to preserve medical samples as well as biological specimens. Similarly, this is used to prepare bakelite, the phenol formaldehyde resin. Next compound is acetone. So this is used as nail remover and used as a solvent. Next compound is glucose. This is also a carbonyl compound. So this is commonly known as glucon D. So when we are getting tired, we used to take glucon D as the source of instant energy. Similarly, next carbonyl compound is fructose. So it is found in sugarcane, apple, dates, honey, pears. Most of the perfumes use benzaldehyde as. Similarly, some flavoring agents use also cinnamaldehyde. This is also a carbonyl compound. So most of the carbonyl compounds are very useful in our day-to-day life. So this is the syllabus. Carbonyl compounds under CC6 paper semester 3 unit 3. So today we are going to talk about structure, reactivity and preparation of carbonyl compounds. So generally the carbonyl compounds contain a simple functional group C double bond O. So which is common in both aldehydes and ketones, collectively called carbonyl compounds. So the simple compound is HCHO, that is known as formaldehyde, and in general the general formula of aldehyde is RCOH. Similarly, CH3CHO, that is known as acetaldehyde, C2H5CHO, propionaldehyde. So in general the aldehydes otherwise called alkanals. So this is the structure of simple ketone RCOR and RCOR prime. This is called mixed ketone. So example CH3COCH3 acetone, CH3COC2H5 ethyl methyl ketone. So the ketones are generally known as alkanones. So let's talk about structure of carbonyl compounds. So generally the structure is RCOR in case of ketone or HCOH is in case of aldehydes or RCOH in case of aldehyde. So generally the carbon is the central atom and which has a double bond between oxygen and carbon. So here you have C and carbon and oxygen has a sigma bond and another one is pi bond. And here you have carbon hydrogen or carbon alkyl group as sigma bond and carbon hydrogen or alkyl group as sigma bond. So here the central atom carbon is sp2 hybridized. So let's talk about the structure in terms of hybridization. So carbon atomic number 6, the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. Oxygen atomic number 8, in ground state the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So this is the way how we write. Then carbon in excited state, the one of the 2s orbital or one of the 2s electron will go to the 2p orbital. So the electronic configuration we write like this 1s2, 2s1, 2p3. So carbon in excited state, it will undergo sp2 hybridization. One of the 2s orbital and two of the 2p orbital will undergo intermixing to give rise to 3 number of equivalent sp2 hybrid orbitals. So what is hybridization? Hybridization is the intermixing of atomic orbitals to give rise to equal number of hybrid orbitals that are of same size, shape and energy. So here in carbon 1 2p orbital is unhybridized. So here we get 3 number of sp2 hybrid orbitals. So these sp2 hybrid orbitals overlap with the hydrogen 1s orbital or the R group orbital, giving rise to sigma bond, head-on overlapping. Similarly, sp2 hybrid orbital overlap with another hydrogen atom or R group orbital, giving rise to the sigma bond. And another sp2 hybrid orbital will overlap with the 2p orbital of oxygen, giving rise to sigma bond. The unhybridized orbital 2p orbital on carbon, which lies perpendicular to the plane, that will undergo lateral overlapping with the 2p orbital of oxygen, giving rise to pi bond. So this is the way how the bonding is explained. So carbon oxygen has sigma bond, carbon hydrogen or alkyl group has sigma bond, carbon hydrogen or alkyl group has sigma bond. And the 2p orbital that remains perpendicular to this plane, that will undergo lateral overlapping with the 2p orbital of oxygen, giving rise to pi bond. And here in oxygen atom, two electron pairs that do not take part in bonding. So that will remain as lone pair of electron on oxygen atom. So let's talk about nature of reaction at carbonyl group. So carbonyl carbon has electronegativity 2.1 and oxygen has electronegativity 3.5. So what is electronegativity? Electronegativity is the tendency of an atom to attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. So here, due to the high electronegativity of oxygen, this pi electron cloud is more pulled towards the electronegative oxygen atom than this carbon. So hence carbon becomes electron deficient and oxygen becomes electronically rich. So this pi bond is polarized, so you develop a negative charge on oxygen and positive charge on carbon. So hence electron rich reagents, nucleophiles, will attack mostly carbonyl carbon. So these reactions are mostly addition reactions, commonly known as nucleophilic addition reactions. So if we look at the mechanism, so nucleophile will attack this carbonyl carbon and this CO double bond O will break on oxygen. So as a result, you end up with tetrahedral intermediate and this O minus will take the proton from solvent. So this HOH bond will break on OH. So as a result, you get nucleophilic addition product. So if you look at the relative reactivity of aldehydes and ketones, so if we look at the structure of this aldehyde HCOH, so hydrogen has less sterically hindered. So due to steric regions, aldehydes are more reactive than ketones. So if you look at the ketones, so you have alkyl groups, bulky groups. So alkyl groups has plus I effect, release electrons and thereby destabilize the transition state by intensifying the negative charge developing on the carbonyl oxygen. So that's why the relative reactivity order will be HCOH greater than acetaldehyde, greater than acetone, greater than diethyl ketone. So now let's talk about the preparation of carbonyl compounds. So first method is oxidation of primary alcohol. So this primary alcohol will be oxidized in presence of H plus and Na2Cr2O7, giving rise to aldehyde. So this Na2Cr2O7 simply is a ionic compound that give rise to 2Na plus Cr2O7 2 minus. So this is the structure of Cr2O7 2 minus ion. So this accepts the proton from acid, giving rise to this H2Cr2O7. So this compound breaks down in presence of water, giving rise to this compound H2CrO4. So this is the intermediate responsible for a reaction. Then H plus can react with water, giving rise to hydronium ion H3O plus. So primary alcohol, oxygen has lone pair of electron. So this will attack this chromium center H2CrO4 and this CrOH bond will break on oxygen and this oxygen lone pair will take the proton. So you end up with this protonated species. So again bond making and bond breaking will start, giving rise to this protonated aldehyde and water takes the proton and this OH bond will break on O plus, giving rise to aldehyde. Similarly, if we take the secondary alcohol, so this H will be R group, so the rest thing is same. So this simply breaks down, giving rise to this protonated ketone and the water takes this proton. This OH bond will break on O plus, giving rise to ketone. So next method for preparation is open air oxidation. So we start with secondary alcohol and we take cyclohexanone that react with aluminum tertiary butoxide, giving rise to ketone. So here the mechanism involves hydride transfer process, hydride ion transfer. So this alcohol, secondary alcohol, react with aluminum tertiary butoxide, giving rise to this oxyaluminum complex. So this oxyaluminum complex we have to write in this fashion, and this would react with the cyclohexanone. So here hydride transfer takes place, and this O minus here will attack aluminum, and this bond will move to here, giving rise to the ketone. And again this oxyaluminum complex react with tertiary butanol, giving rise to cyclohexanol. Similarly, we can prepare carbonyl compound from acid chloride. So acid chloride react with hydrogen, palladium, barium sulfate, giving rise to aldehyde. So this is otherwise known as Rosenmund's reduction. So in presence of hydrogen and palladium, this CO group will be converted to OH. Again, oxygen lone pair will come back. It will kick out Cl as Cl minus. So you get this protonated aldehyde. So again, Cl minus will act as nucleophile. It will take this proton. This OH bond will break on O plus, giving rise to aldehyde. We can also prepare from carboxylic acids. So carboxylic acid react with alkyl lithium, giving rise to RH alkane plus lithium salt. So again another molecule of alkyl lithium will react with this lithium salt, giving rise to dilithiated compound. Upon reaction with H3O plus, you get JMDiol. So this is unstable compound. It will loses one molecule of water, giving rise to ketone. Similarly, hydration of alkynes. So acetylene can react with Hg2 plus and sulfuric acid. So here you have a bond between Hg2 plus and pi bond of acetylene. So water can act as nucleophile, and this bond will break on Hg2 plus. You end up with this intermediate. So addition of proton giving rise to this enol. So this enol tautomerizes to give rise to aldehyde, acetaldehyde. Similarly, there is a problem for you guys. If you start with this alkyne, what would be the product? So you will end up with a ketone in presence of Hg2 plus and H2SO4. So please write down the mechanism for this product. Similarly, we can use hydroboration and oxidation method. So this terminal alkyne can react with boron compound, giving rise to this boron adduct. Then further reaction with hydrogen peroxide and OH minus ion. So this carbon boron bond will break. So OH will be added. So you get this enol. So which again tautomerizes to give rise to aldehyde. So if you start with symmetrical alkyne, so again it react with the boron compound, giving rise to this adduct. Upon oxidation with hydrogen peroxide and OH minus ion, you get this enol. And this enol tautomerizes to give rise to a ketone. The next method is DMSO oxidation. So this primary alcohol, upon reaction with phosgene COCl2, giving rise to alkyl chloroformate, and further reaction with DMSO and triethylamine, giving rise to aldehyde. So this alcohol, oxygen has lone pair of electron. It can act as nucleophile. So it will attack this carbonyl carbon and it will kick out Cl as Cl minus. So you end up with this protonated species and loss of proton, giving rise to alkyl chloroformate. So again it would react with DMSO. So this is the structure of DMSO, S plus, O minus. So O minus can act as nucleophile. It will attack carbonyl carbon and this Cl bond will break on Cl. So you end up with this species which is unstable. Again it will lose one molecule of carbon dioxide, giving rise to this protonated species. Again triethylamine takes this proton and this CH bond will break on carbon and oxygen, and OS bond will break on S plus, giving rise to aldehyde and dimethyl sulfide. So there is a problem for you guys. Please write down the mechanism for this product formation. So if you take secondary alcohol and go for DMSO oxidation, you will end up with ketone. So please subscribe to our channel Chemistry Live UGPG. So this is also available in the website www.chemistryliveuGPG.com. So this is the YouTube channel Foundation Chemistry AB for 11th and 12th class students. So this is also available in the website foundationchemistryab.com. So this is a simple step towards e-learning, making life better. Thank you all for learning.